and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Tuesday, November 25, 2025. Making the headlines tonight, new Labor Minister tells PSU no trade dispute exists. PSU says follow the law. Mess Up Area Rep accuses Briceño administration of same spending practice once challenged in court. And chairperson showdown to define UDP leadership convention Sunday. We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double B-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Saturday. That's right, 2 times the B-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with B-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, B-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Penny's. Quality and savings.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
One of the reasons I applied for a credit card at Atlantic Bank was because I travel a lot. I'm always going here and there and everywhere, and having that card made my life so much easier. I could literally charge everything. I had no issues. I don't have to worry about carrying money, and that has been one of the most effective points. Using my Atlantic Bank credit card has improved my life drastically. I learned to budget properly, the online service that it gives, the features that it has, and also knowing that when I'm shopping online, it has a protective feature for it. Having an Atlantic Bank credit card, especially having 2 sons that are always wanting something. They want to shop here and they want to shop there. The good part about it is I get to look at Atlantic online to see where my spending is and to make sure I'm staying in budget.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Want all the postpaid perks without the commitment? Now you can with Smart Supercharged prepaid plans. All the talk, text, and data you need. No contracts, no hassle. Pay upfront for your package and enjoy total freedom. No commitments. Just simple, flexible plans that fit your life. Pick your power, Core, Edge, or Prime. Prepaid plans ready when you ready. Commit to no commitments and get yours today. Dial 7526 or *100 pound key, use the Smart app, or visit a Gimme Dollar agent to purchase today. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of replacing light bulbs? LEDs are what you need. LEDs last up to 30,000 hours. That's 30 times longer than incandescent bulbs, and up to 8 times longer than compact fluorescents. So less changing and less trash. Planet Earth thanks you. And the LED experts at Brothers Habet and Habet will help you find the best LED solution with colors for every room and mood, starting as low as $6.95. You can even get LED strips for home, office, and industrial use. So say goodbye to fluorescent tubes forever. And because they use up to 90% less energy, you save money. Money you can spend on other things. So head to Brothers Habet or Habet today. You can also call, email, or Facebook us. Have a brilliant day.
Today we officially hand over essential IT equipment to Belize's 9 municipalities under PAC's Readiness 10 program with the Green Climate Fund. This handover represents a tangible step forward in strengthening institutional capacity to build climate-resilient communities across the country. Prior to this, the GIS software licenses had already been provided under this project. GIS technology is one of the most powerful instruments available globally. It enables us to visualize, analyze, and interpret data to better understand relationships, patterns, and trends.
The Belmopan City Council has already embarked or is embarked on its implementation of GIS within the city of Belmopan. So any additional resources that we can utilize towards this project is definitely useful.
We will make sure that we make every good use of this to gather, like I said, information to ensure that we better prepare ourselves. And we continue to seek other opportunities to ensure that we prepare for what's ahead.
Climate change is the single most significant impact, threat, vulnerability, risk that our environment faces, as do we. It is the beginning, and we hope that with these equipment and with the ongoing support of programs like R10, I even shorten the name even more, we can build our capacity and our ability to be resilient against climate change.
Today is a moment to pause and acknowledge the progress we have made together in strengthening our urban communities. Your teams are now better equipped to use spatial analysis tools to support the development of climate-smart cities and towns.
Welcome back with your news. I am Drea Espinosa. The new Minister of Labor, Honorable Kareem Musa, has now responded to the Public Service Union regarding its 21-day notice of industrial action on the Belize Tax Service Department's transition to a semi-autonomous revenue authority, SARA. He references the dispute as alleged. The notice period expires tomorrow. In his letter dated November 24th, Minister Musa tells the union that because SARA has not yet been implemented, no trade dispute exists currently. In its response today, the PSU encourages the minister to become thoroughly familiar with the rules and laws that govern labor and industrial relations in Belize. It proceeds to express profound disappointment and strong objection to the characterization of the dispute as nothing in the Settlement of Disputes in Essential Services Act grants him the authority to, quote, unilaterally reduce a dispute formally reported to him under Section 11 to the status of an allegation. According to the PSU, the minister has taken a troubling misinterpretation of the definition of a trade dispute and points out that their dispute relates directly to the potential terms, conditions, and job security of its members arising from the proposed transition. The union argues that to suggest that a dispute only arises after a detrimental change is renders the entire preventative framework of the Act nonsensical. The union concludes by asking the minister to act within the remit of the law and notifies that having lawfully reported a trade dispute, the union reserves its rights to begin industrial actions as deemed fit by its members. We spoke with PSU President Dean Flowers.
I don't know who would have advised the minister, but it is really disappointing to read his response. And I would even go as far as classifying it as bordering disrespectful. Disrespectful because if the people of Belize will be paying you a salary, perhaps a package worth $130,000 or $150,000, the least that they would expect is that you would do the job, that you would learn how to do your job, or that you would do the job that you're being paid to do. And when coming out the gate, this is the kind of less than intelligent response that I would receive from the minister, and I'm trying my best not to be rude, considering that he's new in the post. But as I stated, nobody forces them to take up these portfolios. They voluntarily take them up, and as such, it is expected that they would exhibit the kind of competency that is required to lead. And clearly, his first correspondence to the Public Service Union of Belize leaves a whole lot to be desired.
So if you do not get any response by the end of the notice period, is there any likelihood that the membership would proceed to start industrial action right after?
Well, I think that I do not wish to state whether or not the membership will immediately engage in industrial actions at the expiration of the notice period, but I can say that they would be within the confines of the law, and it would be their legal right to exercise industrial actions. I can say that while they would have hoped for us to commence with legal action from the day we serve notice, being the union that we are, the responsible union that we are, we were clear in explaining to them that as an essential service, we must operate within the confines of the law.
Flowers also confirmed that the timeline being provided by government officials for the implementation of SARA has changed. Whereas initially it was confirmed as December 2025, the new date provided is June 2026. Mesopotamia Area Rep. Honorable Lee Mark Chang at Thursday's House meeting called out the Briceño administration for engaging in the same unlawful practice for which the PUP had taken former Prime Minister Dean Barrow to court. He was accused as Minister of Finance of failing to seek prior parliamentary approval for $1.3 billion in spending. At last week's meeting, the Briceño administration presented two supplementary appropriation bills totaling $209.6 million. However, $78 million represented expenditure for fiscal year 2024-2025, which ended on March 31, 2024, while the remainder was for the current fiscal year.
Madam Speaker, Supplementary Appropriation Number 2 for the fiscal year 2024-2025. A document that quite frankly should have come to this Honorable House months ago. Not long after the fiscal year has closed and the money has already been spent. Madam Speaker, this supplementary is very late. It's not just a procedural delays. It is a symptom of deeper financial mismanagement. A breach of proper public governance and blatant disregard for the parliamentary oversight that houses is constitutionally mandated. This House is constitutionally mandated to perform. The fiscal year 2024-2025 ended in March 31st, 2025. A supplementary appropriation should have been brought during the year when the spending occurs or immediately after the foreseen expenditures arise. But today we are being asked to retroactively approve spending from the fiscal period that is already history. This is after the fact budgeting by backdating, Mr. Speaker. This government, this administration spent millions of dollars without parliamentary approval. Instead of coming to the House before spending or as soon as they recognize the shortfall, they spend the money, sign the contracts, made the payments, and now only they are trying to clean it up with late supplementary allocations 2024-2025. And yes, Mr. Speaker, previous administrations had delays in bringing supplementary. And I was said that if they could do it, we could do it. They could do it 10 years ago, we could do it today again too.
Chang also accused ministries of underreporting spending just so that their budgets appeared balanced. Here's how Foreign Minister Francis Fonseca and Prime Minister John Briceño responded to Chang.
I think it's important for the Belizean people to understand and appreciate that this is in fact what we are doing. This is disclosure, transparency in practice, right? Not just in rhetoric, because that's what we've heard from them. Rhetoric about disclosure, rhetoric about transparency. And their record in government, as others have pointed out, is one of the complete opposite of disclosure and transparency. It is our party that had to take them to court. And in fact, the court found and determined that the then Prime Minister had failed, as others have publicly stated, to properly and legally seek and get the approval of the National Assembly for over $1.5 billion in spending. So they never thought it was important to bring these supplementary appropriations. They just continued on doing everything that they wanted to do. So $1.5 billion never accounted for. So I think that's important. It's important that the Belizean people understand that you know, it's not always easy for a government to bring these supplementary appropriations. The easy thing to do is what they did, was to just ignore it, and not provide any accounting for it.
2020 to 2021, there were 6 appropriations. 6 appropriations the UDP did. Remember, that was coming to the election. All of this is just before the election. And there, in one of them, when you look at the numbers, Mr. Speaker, the appropriation was for $198 million. 198. But yet they come and to accuse, and they don't look at themselves in the mirror. And that's the problem I have many times when they come to accuse us. I need to point out also, Madam Speaker, that the first appropriation for 2024 to 2025, that does not affect the financials of the government, because that's already been accounted for when we came to the end of the year of March in this year. So that money has already been accounted, but we know we need to follow the law, and it's important for us to bring it to the National Assembly as required under the Finance and Audit Reform Act.
Responding to Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Tracy Panton's framing of the $69 million Belize dollars upgrade of the 15-mile stretch of the George Price Highway from Belize City to Hattieville as adding significantly to our debt burden. Prime Minister John Briceño provided details of their debt management strategies. He emphasized that they are paying off debt annually. This year, according to the PM, $126.35 million of debt will be paid.
Where possible, existing debt, whether domestic or external, with high cost of finance, have either been prepaid, paid off, or substituted with lower cost of finance. For example, the legacy IDB loans with finance costs of over 8% were prepaid. When we got into government, the UDP had an overdraft facility at the central bank of paying 8% per annum. And that overdraft was at a $100 million. $100 million overdraft they left, paying 8%. And you know what we did, Madam Speaker? By 2022, we paid off that $100 million overdraft. We paid it off. We don't use the overdraft. And then, now this one will be a little bit more technical, but what we call the yield curve management of Treasury bills and Treasury notes through the development of what we call another proxy yield curve has proved effective to bring down the domestic finance to roughly 2.5%. Now, the UDP back then never once sat down with the central bank and said, hold on, your interest rate, I think, was around 6%. But the cost of interest has gone down significantly. They never once had, I don't know, the know-how or the sense to sit down with them and say, hold on, make we renegotiate these interest rates. And that's what we did. You went to them and tell them, hold on, interest rates gone down. During around COVID, we gone down to about 1% at one time. And so we have then renegotiated so now that the average interest rate we pay, should I write this down, is 2.5%.
In addition, Briceño reported that they are already preparing for the repayment of principal on the blue bond beginning in 2031-2032.
Imminent in the horizon, we have the principal payments for the blue bond that starts to 2031-2032. So it's important that we start to accumulate sufficient primary surpluses to purchase foreign exchange reserves that will be used to make up, to pay off, they start to pay the blue bond. We've also started discussing with Central Bank on the establishment of a sinking fund for such principal payment, but at the same time, a robust mechanism must be established for revenues to be set aside for the purchase of the required foreign exchange. One idea that we're talking about is that the difference on Central Bank itself, well, that will not be enough to pay. But we're looking of wanting to see if we could then set monies from the same borrowing from Central Bank that is at lower interest rates to be able to use to pay the blue bonds. And I hope I'm not talking out of terms, but if we could even prepay because we could pay at a cheaper rate, we want to do it. That is what is called debt management. Something, no, I'm saying if. No, I am saying if we can. So we work on that.
With no application submitted for 3 of the 5 posts for the Central Executive of the United Democratic Party, Honorable Tracy Panton is set to be endorsed as party leader. She will make history as the first woman to lead a mass political party in Belize. Also to be endorsed are Honorable Hugo Pat as first deputy leader and Honorable Mike Guerra as second deputy leader. With those positions uncontested, the biggest showdown will be for the post of party chairperson. John Saldivar's application for chairman was denied by the nominations committee, and Delroy Cutkelvin withdrew his bid over the weekend. That leaves Senator Sheena Pitts to face Roosevelt Blades, a veteran in electoral politics, who has led multiple campaigns. Pitts is on Panton's slate, but notably, our reports are that Mesopotamia area rep, Honorable Lee Mark Chang, has thrown his support behind Blades. The chairperson's role in any mass political party is pivotal. The function, much like the party's CEO, overseeing day-to-day operations and presiding over monthly meeting. They are also responsible for organizing internal conventions and driving the party's outreach and political work. The bid for deputy chairman is being contested by Maybe Abdel Kowo from the San Ignacio Town Council, Ivan Williams from the South, and John Castillo. The convention is set for 10 a.m. Sunday, November 30. After the break, over 6% of youth report experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety. Stay with us.
When Shell V-Power flows through your engine, confidence flows through you. Choose the fuel that 100% cleans critical engine parts and keeps your engine performing like new.
All right, on the one fun day, the window open and the light may turn off. It looks like you listen to me, Jamie.
Not only that, I even get a new coffee mug where keep my coffee hot all day.
I'm impressed. You don't look like you're so hard, yeah?
Better than that, BL can't change my meter to one of their new smart meter, they call it the AMI.
Oh, I hear about it on TV from a BL ad, you know.
Yes, man, it don't reach the man, the better to change it right now. Let's go check it out.
Hey guys, I'm almost done here.
So that when you reach my area,
we're upgrading meters across Belize, house by house, business by business. Always look out for BL logo, uniforms, and IDs. BL will make you know when we're in the area. The EMI meter rollout is a part of BL strategy to modernize our energy services.
You don't need to come in at my house, right?
Come in at your house, boss, only if you got something good for you.
BEL, bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
Sir, your item is ready for viewing.
Is that all?
This is everything.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today? I'm so stressed out. Okay, I'm saying I help you right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay? Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
On Monday, the Statistical Institute of Belize, SIB, released their findings during their recently concluded Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey 7, or MICS7. The execution of the survey entailed planning for over a year, a month of field staff training, 4 months of data collection, and almost a year of processing the data. The survey is done on more than 120 countries for the past 30 years and is developed and mostly funded by UNICEF. The survey covers 100 high-quality and internationally comparable indicators on the well-being of men, women, and children. The latest data revealed that Belize has shown improvement when it comes to children and families in the areas of violent discipline, child labor, child marriage, school attendance, and gender-based violence.
Violent discipline has decreased from 71% in 2011 to 65% in 2015-2016, and now to 62.3%. We're going down, so we're moving in the right direction. But we still need to deal with this situation because the results are still unacceptably high for a country like ours that is deeply committed to advancing the rights of children. Child labor, which was once 10% in 2011, now stands at 11.7%, reflecting a stagnation shaped by deep socioeconomic vulnerabilities. The good news is that we're doing something about this. Child marriage, which affected 29% of women before age 18 in 2011, remains persistently high at 25%, indicating slow change in harmful practices that shape girls' lives. Again, we're doing something about that. Secondary school attendance continues to improve thanks to the Ministry of Education and all the hard work that they've been, and the investment being put into that. But we still have to work on urban-rural gaps and disparities that affect mainly boys. Birth registration and access to improved drinking water remain strong, though inequalities exist, of course, in specific regions and among specific populations. And, of course, gender-based violence remains one of our most entrenched human rights challenges. The Mix 7 reveals that 6.9% of women and 6.9% of men still believe a husband is justified in beating his wife. It's an indication of deeply rooted social norms that demand urgent transformation. And again, we're working on that.
Another aspect that was highlighted by the SIB during the presentation of the Mix 7 survey's data was that of the child mortality and adolescent birth rates. The data showed that the child mortality rate for Belize was low in 2025. It also showed that the adolescent birth rate, that is, mothers giving birth between the ages of 15 to 19 years, went down from 74 in 2015 to 58 in 2024. SIB statistician 1, Wendy Benavides, shared more details.
The child mortality level in 2024 was very low at 1 per 1,000, indicating that there is a strong progress towards achieving SDG 3.2. Infant and under 5 mortality have steadily declined since 2015, with infant mortality dropping from 15 to 13 per 1,000 live births, and under 5 mortality from 17 to 14 per 1,000 births. Adolescent birth rate is an indicator to ensure universal access to sexual and reproductive health care. It is expressed as the number of live births, in this case occurring 3 years before the survey interview, per 1,000 women aged 15 to 19 years. In 2024, this number has declined from 74 to 58 since the last mix conducted in 2015. Another early childbearing indicator for young women is women who have had a live birth before the age of 18. This is for women who were 20 to 24 years since they were exposed to early childbearing. We can see there the share of women aged 20 to 24 who gave birth before age 18 has remained relatively stable over time. while only a slight increase to 18.3% in 2024 compared to 17.3% in 2015 and 16.9% in 2011.
While a lot of the data presented following the processing of the Mix7 data has been positive, some information gathered has been disconcerting. One such revelation has been that there were findings that show widespread detection of E. coli by way of fecal components in drinking water samples gathered from around the country. Wendy Benavides, SIB Statistician 1, explained that the samples were collected from whatever source residents used to drink from, including tap water and thus purified water. She explained that the contamination could even be from the containers that the water is stored in and encouraged residents to clean their water storage containers and to ensure that their drinking water is regularly treated. Drinking water contaminated with E. coli could potentially cause diarrhea and gastrointestinal infections, especially in children, the elderly, and those who are immune compromised. Another concerning data set from the Mix7 survey is that mental health conditions have been taking a toll on youth. The data reveal that 6.7% of youth between the ages of 15 and 24 have reported experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety. 1% of the same group also admitted to having had suicidal thoughts, which was more prevalent among women and girls. Statistician 1 Wendy Benavides spoke more on what Mix7 revealed about mental health.
The 2024 results show that 6.7% of men and women 15 to 24 years experience symptoms of depression or anxiety. Symptoms of depression refer to feeling sad or in a depressed mood, not finding things enjoyable, easily annoyed or irritated, feeling hopeless, changes in appetite, and so on. So we had a scoring system that identified if these young persons were experiencing symptoms of depression or anxiety. Among symptoms of anxiety refers to feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge, worrying you cannot do anything right, worrying what others think of you, that something bad will happen, etc. This one was also based on a scoring system for that group of persons. Among these same persons, we see that almost 90% also reported functional limitations. What are functional limitations? These refer to 3 domains. These would be difficulty performing daily activities at home, difficulty performing activities at work or at school, if those are relevant, and negative impacts on social relationships with other peers. Out of young men and women 15 to 24 years, almost 10% experience both symptoms of depression or anxiety, and talk to someone about their feelings and experiences.
The Mix7 survey also revealed information on nutrition and whether Belizeans were eating balanced, nutritious meals. It is recommended that each meal contains options from over 4 food groups. If individuals are consistently eating meals which contain fewer than 4 food groups, they are in moderate food poverty and are considered in severe food poverty if 2 or less food groups are being consumed. Dr. Leopold Perriott, the National Mix Consultant, spoke more on food poverty.
There are 2 types of food poverty, I suppose. There's the moderate food poverty. We have a number of food groups, and if the individual is lacking or receives less than 4, between 3 and 4 from the food groups, then we say those individuals have a moderate food poverty. And on the other hand, if they receive 2 or less from the food groups, the individuals are classified as having severe food poverty. Okay, what do we have? Severe, we're having issues in females. Well, issues all across the board like that, but certainly a bit more pronounced in females at 10.7% for the severe food poverty. The Maya seems to have a problem. When I did this, I just listed a few of high and lows. The Maya had a severe food poverty at 14.0%. Mennonites at 13.1. The reason this is in brackets, there's a curved bracket for the Mennonites, and all the numbers when you see brackets, that means that the unweighted sample size was kind of small. Okay, and so you have to use those numbers with a bit of care. Okay? Comparisons within, well, this isn't a comparison. The moderate is a little bit, well, it still shows quite substantial, 32.7% children 6 to 23 months having moderate food poverty. It's still sometimes somewhat a little bit worrisome. Similarly, for the total, children 6 to 23 months at 42.2%, that's quite substantial. Also, almost half of them.
After the break, Tropic Air stops salary payments to hero pilot Howell Grange. Stay tuned.
Want all the postpaid perks without the commitment? Now you can with Smart Supercharged prepaid plans. All the talk, text, and data you need. No contracts, no hassle. Pay upfront for your package and enjoy total freedom. No commitments. Just simple, flexible plans that fit your life. Pick your power, Core, Edge, or Prime. Prepaid plans ready when you ready. Commit to no commitments and get yours today. Dial 7526 or *100 pound key, use the Smart app, or visit a Gimme Dollar agent to purchase today. Smart, bringing people together.
One of the reasons I applied for a credit card at Atlantic Bank was because I travel a lot. I'm always going here and there and everywhere, and having that card made my life so much easier. I could literally charge everything. I had no issues. I don't have to worry about carrying money, and that has been one of the most effective points. Using my Atlantic Bank credit card has improved my life drastically. I learned to budget properly, the online service that it gives, the features that it has, and also knowing that when I'm shopping online, it has a protective feature for it. Having an Atlantic Bank credit card, especially having 2 sons that are always wanting something. They want to shop here and they want to shop there. The good part about it is I get to look at Atlantic online to see where my spending is and to make sure I'm staying in budget.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
This year's celebration takes place under the theme Invest, Innovate, Sustain, Leading the Change in Renewable Energy Frontiers. This theme is both timely and visionary. It reminds us that the key to Belize's energy future lies in our ability to invest in transformative technologies, innovate through collaboration, and sustain our progress to shared responsibility.
When we create spaces, internships, research labs, and innovation challenges where young Belizeans can turn their ideas into renewable solutions made for Belize, where opportunity is rewarded with support for exploration, we all win.
Across the region, CARICOM member states are collaborating to invest, innovate, and sustain to build systems that are resilient to climate change impacts, responsive to community needs, and responsible to our planet. Our ministry proudly works hand in hand with CARICOM and our regional partners to ensure that Belize continues to lead by example. Because when the Caribbean stands together on clean energy, we send a message to the world. Small nations can lead in big ways.
Let us invest boldly in our renewable energy. Let us invest together from the classroom to the boardroom. And let us sustain this progress with unity and purpose so that what we build today, tomorrow, becomes the foundation of a stronger, cleaner future.
It's an massive season with massive deals and rewards at Penny's. From now through December 31st, earn double B-Bucks on store-wide purchasing every Saturday. That's right, 2 times the B-Bucks, which means 2 times the cash back when shopping at Penny's. Plus, get even more rewards with B-Bucks Builders on home goods, tiles, appliances, paints, and lights. And don't forget, there's also massive deals and discounts on tiles and the best brands in paints like Benjamin Moore and BH. Rewards, deals, B-Bucks. You can get it all this massive season only at Penny's. Quality and savings.
Enhanced service and faster sickness benefit claim processing are at your fingertips with SSB's healthcare feature, accessible via the My Social Security self-service portal. Your convenience during illness is key. Now your doctor can certify your period of illness, and your employer can confirm your employment details digitally, eliminating the need to visit our office. But wait, it gets better. You can also review the medical certificate provided by your doctor in your My Social Security account, along with real-time processing updates, keeping you informed. To ensure a smooth process, always review your electronic medical certificate before you hit submit. Upon submission, your employer is notified via email of your claim submitted to SSB and must respond within 48 hours for your claim to be automatically processed. For more information, check out our guides on our website and YouTube pages. Social Security at your fingertips.
Technology in education is not simply about modern tools, it is about expanding human potential. When we introduce digital learning into our schools, we are helping our students develop critical thinking skills and skills in communication. We're increasing your creativity and problem-solving skills as well. And these are the building blocks of human development, and it helps in preparing young people to contribute meaningfully to their communities and to the wider world.
We have our first ever smart classroom. We extend our gratitude and appreciation for making our dreams become reality.
This smart classroom is going to be helping you guys to be able to put your thoughts together, to further develop greater ideas for the development of this country, for the development of yourselves as well. We are now investing with you guys. This investment, it is being done today, but the results, the fruits of it is not for today. So it is who apply themselves, who work hard, will be the future leaders and the future success stories of this country.
Tropic Air pilot Captain Howell Grange, whose heroic action saved 15 lives earlier this year, has hit another difficult chapter in his ongoing recovery. Reports have now emerged that Tropic Air removed Grange from their payroll as of October 31. The 40-year-old pilot was severely injured on April 17 this year when a U.S. military veteran, Akinyela Taylor, hijacked the Tropic Air caravan he was piloting. Grange was stabbed over 10 times. Since then, he continues to struggle with serious medical complications And according to his doctors, he remains far from being able to return to the cockpit. A Social Security Medical Board has ruled him 100% unfit to fly, and he is currently receiving a temporary disability payment amounting to roughly 1/5 of his former salary. The airline has indicated that they had been covering Grange's full salary and also provided significant support to cover medical expenses, international travel, accommodations, home furniture, and other assistance. The company reportedly told him he could return as a pilot or to another open post he is qualified for when he chooses. Police have arrested and charged a 43-year-old Belize City taxi operator following allegations that he sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl over the weekend. The incident was reported on Saturday, November 22nd. According to police, the teenager, accompanied by her mother, told investigators that she had boarded a dollar van to head home. After other passengers were dropped off, the driver allegedly diverted to a secluded area where he touched her inappropriately. Today, police formally charged Wenceslau Veliz with the crime of sexual assault. 17-year-old Ari Winston Smiling, a bright and active student of St. John's Junior College, SJCJC, is currently in Merida, Mexico, where he has begun chemotherapy after being diagnosed with nodular sclerosis Hodgkin's lymphoma. Ari, an entrepreneurship major known for his friendly personality and passion for basketball and football, had been a healthy and energetic teenager until he developed a persistent cough that would not go away. Further medical evaluation confirmed the life-altering diagnosis. Despite the difficult road ahead, Ari remains hopeful, determined, and surrounded by the unwavering support of his family, friends, and school community. As treatment costs continue to rise, his loved ones are reaching out to wider public for assistance. Those wishing to help may support Ari's medical journey through donations to the following Belize Bank account: 1343-7001-0140-005. In police news, occupants of a delivery truck were held up at gunpoint on Friday night, and the driver was shot multiple times during the incident. Initial investigations revealed that the incident occurred after 8 that night along the Hummingbird Highway in St. Margaret Village, Cayo. 3 employees from the Country Farm Products were traveling in the delivery truck when they encountered a traffic cone on the highway. The driver slowed down and 2 masked armed men emerged and held up the employees.
Upon arrival, the officers learned that at around 8:20 p.m., 3 Country Farm Products employees were traveling in a delivery truck. As they approached a speed bump, which was under construction near mile 32 in St. Margaret's Village, they observed a single cone that was placed in the middle of the roadway. As the driver slowed down to pass the obstruction, they heard a single gunshot, and subsequent to that, they were accosted by 2 masked male persons who exited a vehicle that was parked on the side of the road. Both of these male persons were armed with firearms, and they demanded that the occupants hand over money that was in their possession. The employees were removed from the truck, searched, and robbed of their personal belongings. The assailants then demanded that they handed over the key to the safe that is installed in the vehicle. However, none of the occupants had the key in their possession. While the robbers were searching the truck, 2 of the employees managed to escape into nearby bushes, and the 3rd employee was shot multiple times before the assailant fled the scene. The injured employee remains in critical but stable condition. Scenes of crime personnel were summoned to the scene, and police have reviewed the available surveillance footage in an effort to identify the vehicle and the suspects in relation to this incident.
On November 10, 65-year-old Canadian national Marty Thorne was found dead by an employee on her property in Bullet Tree Falls, Cayo. Since then, police had been seeking a male suspect but were unable to locate him. The suspect, 25-year-old Gian Eldred Waite, was later detained in Guatemala by authorities and was then handed over to Belizean authorities. Waite was subsequently charged with the crime of murder. ASP Stacy Smith provided more details on Waite's attempt to flee.
As it relates to the murder of Marty Arn Thorne that occurred on 9 November 2025, on 17 November 2025, police formally arrested and charged Gian Eldred Waite, a 25-year-old Belizean construction worker of Bullet Tree Falls Village, Cayo District, for the murder of Thorne. Waite was deemed a person of interest very early into the investigation. However, he fled the jurisdiction, and as a consequence of liaising with Interpol counterparts in Guatemala, Mr. Waite was detained while seeking to board a plane in Guatemala City that was en route to El Salvador. He was handed over to police and he has since been charged. Whilst we do know that Mr. Waite was familiar with Ms. Thorne, no clear motive has been established into this incident.
And an 18-year-old male was stabbed in Dangriga on 19th night before 11. Gavin Armstrong told police that he was socializing at a bar and grill earlier that night when he was approached by an unknown male who inflicted the stab wounds. ASP Stacy Smith told the media Monday that police detained 2 individuals for questioning. One of them has since been charged.
Acting upon information received on Wednesday, 19 November 2025 at approximately 10:37 p.m., Dangriga police responded to the Island Breeze Bar, proceeded to the Island Breeze Bar grill located at the corner of Riverside and Chatouille Street in Dangriga town, having been advised that a male person was injured in a stabbing incident. Upon the arrival of police, they learned that this male person was escorted to the Southern Regional Hospital for treatment. Initial investigations revealed that at about 10:30 p.m., Gavin Armstrong, 18 years of age, was socializing at the Island Breeze Bar and Grill when an unknown male person approached him and inflicted the injury to him. Police have detained 2 male persons in connection with this incident, one of whom has been charged with attempted murder and is expected to be arraigned in front of the Dangriga Magistrate Court.
And with that, we've come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on the station later tonight at 9 and again tomorrow at midday. Join us again tomorrow for another edition of the news. And remember, you can always catch up with the day's top stories on our YouTube channel and Facebook page under XTV Belize. And you can watch the evening news live on our XTV BHNI app. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.